Greetings and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be primarily focused on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. This game was released February 4th and it's had a lot of controversies surrounding it over the last 3 to 4 weeks, I think. So there will be chapters in this video. I will be citing from a few different sources, and then at the end of the video I will be giving my thoughts in a kind of like a discussion slash mini rant on everything that I have discovered about this game. So if you're interested in that, stay through to the end. Or you could just skip around to the parts that matter to you. And also, if this is your first time happening upon the video and the channel, definitely consider subscribing. The grind to monetization is real. So your subscriptions, your likes and comments will help a very tiny channel like myself actually get a few steps closer to monetization. So with that being said, let's go. So the first article I want to jump into, pretty much it's really a chart, is the Steam DB charts. And as you can see, this game is, for all intents and purposes, is a resounding success. Pretty much, like I said, the game was released on the 4th, as you can see. And it had, I guess you can see here, about 159,000 players that was playing it on launch day. And then, of course, it dipped down. People got lives, jobs, and stuff like that. And then, pretty much on the 5th later on, it rose up to 176,000 and then went on its roller coaster trend. And now currently, at the time of this video's recording, the all-time peak is 181,049. So this game, for all intents and purposes, despite all of the controversy, whether you agree or disagree, the game is a success. And also, to follow up with that, the article from here in Polygon, the game has also sold 1 million copies in 24 hours, essentially. And I do not see that momentum stopping anytime soon. A lot of people, many that have played the game, they are loving what they're playing. Personally, I don't own the game, but a lot of people are very invested into this game and its storyline and its world. As you can see here, after just a day on the market, the highly anticipated sequel to 2018's Kingdom Come Deliverance has sold 1 million copies. Warhorse Studio KCD2 was released to immediate and widespread critical acclaim, and obviously mounds of sales, impressive at any time, but particularly in a competitive month that will see Civilization 7, Assassin's Creed Shadows. I don't really know if I can agree with that, because I know Assassin's Creed Shadows comes out toward the end of March. So yeah. But anyway, I think I understand what they're trying to say is that in the time window, not in the month. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how KCD2 performs when other games that can give it serious competition, when those games release, just to see how well KCD2 sales and its player numbers can continue to grow without such a sharp decline. So I'm interested in seeing that. I'm pretty sure there'll be many of my YouTube peers that will make videos surrounding that, and I'll probably do as well. Now, this next article is surrounding the guide on how to do between Hans, the protagonist, no, excuse me, the companion of the protagonist named Henry, and how you can go about engaging. So IGN has you covered if that's your bag, if that's what you want to go and involve yourself in. This article right here will have you covered on that front. Now, another thing I can draw your attention to, at least just to kind of put it out there, because it is a bit ongoing right now, and that is the little bit of a war that's happening between the YouTuber Jon Del Arroz. Here is his channel right here. I'm currently subscribed for the meantime. He has about 55.7 thousand subscribers, so he is a much larger channel than mine. Twitter, or X. Here is, a tweet from him. As you can see, it says, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is one of the biggest insults to gamers and Christians in recent years, and you can kind of see it for yourself. And that has led to a response by Daniel Vavra, the creative director of the game, and then they've kind of had a little bit of a back and forth where Daniel, he put out, I guess, a restraining order that Jon Arroz's wife put up against him, and allegedly Jon Del Arroz is like a furry. So I don't really know, man. I'm not going to get too deep in the weeds with this. It's like a petty squabble as far as I'm concerned. But I'm just kind of putting it out there just to show everybody that I am aware of it, because I might have somebody in the comment section that might bring it up to my attention. So let's just say that I'm well aware of the little bit of a drama that they have going on between each other. I don't see this lasting, but it is kind of entertaining to see it go down. And then I guess the final article I will just kind of touch on is from That Park Place. And it shows here, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 director Daniel Vavra attacks critical review as Steam reportedly hides negative reactions to the game. And then it goes on to say here, despite its fair share of pre-launch controversy, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has debuted to impressive success and decent review scores, drawing in over 160,000 concurrent players on Steam and maintaining strong reviews from critics and audiences alike. So this article is definitely well worth your attention to give it a read. One particular, as you could see here, outlet, Games Hub, gave the game a 50. And this score has brought down the Metacritic score below 90%. And Metacritic, in case you are unaware, is kind of like a collection of different so-called journalist websites that give review scores, and they take all of those scores and give it one general average score. So naturally, if you have several other publications giving it a low score, it may potentially bring down the overall score, which is the issue here. So it is what it is. I do feel that, being in the high 80 percentile on Metacritic is still amazing. Naturally, you would like to be in the 90s, but hey, the game is still very new. Who knows? Maybe over the course of time, this game may climb back into that 90 percentile range. I don't know. Doesn't really matter to me. The game has already sold 1 million copies, and it has well over 160,000 concurrent players on Steam. So, I think the game is winning as it is. With all that being said, if you are still here with me, let me just go and share a couple of my thoughts on this game. But for starters, I have made some coverage to the game leading up to its release. It was kind of like 2 videos I made, and I think a live stream. I will link those 2 videos I've made in the description below for your viewing pleasure to kind of catch up on all of the controversy. But suffice to say, back in January 16th, initially this game was allegedly banned in Saudi Arabia. And at the time, not many of us content creators or what have you we didn't know if it was true or not. I know I didn't. I just reported on what I seen like any other YouTuber. But apparently another thing was that that particular cutscene, which lasted over a minute long, was allegedly unskippable. You could not skip that scene. Bullshit. I wasn't a fan, but later on, now that the game is out officially and people are able to play it, the same-sex scene that was in question is in fact in the game. I'm assuming you can skip it, and it has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. The very first game, a lot of people like the first game. And to my understanding, as I covered in prior videos, there wasn't many DEI infused elements into the game. I am aware that the main antagonist was a gay man, but I also know that the Henry character, the protagonist, was canonically a straight Christian man. So it was the surprise of many that this game, KCD2, your protagonist, Henry, from the first game, now in the second game, has a quest line that essentially allows him with another man, in this case, the character Hans, which I guess is his friend or whatever. So I'm not a fan of any of that shit, but to my understanding, it is a choice that you don't have to go through. But I do understand people's frustration with the constant pandering and implementation of these sort of choices in our games, and it is getting kind of annoying. Of course, because it is a choice, I've dealt with these choices with other franchises such as Mass Effect and, say, Baldur's Gate, Dragon Age, those franchises. And I have been met with those choices where, for Mass Effect, for instance, my shepherd is always a male shepherd. I create the male shepherd. I tend to leave his appearance the same, but I make him straight, basically a straight man. Whereas somebody else may play Mass Effect and may make Shepard a woman, and or make Shepard, engage in, same sex with, the party members. So in that regard, it is a choice in that regard. But I can see people's argument where the first game, the lead character was canonically straight and a Christian. Now, this is a character that is sort of like a pre-made character for you. So I can understand people's frustration that now in the second game, you have this option that's implemented into the game. And, I feel that the creative director, Daniel Vavra, could have been a little bit more honest about this. But I have a feeling that he probably knew that if he was, it might have affected the sales of the game. Even though KCD2 is a resounding success, right? As I shown in the prior segments of the video. But I have a feeling that it would be a little bit more successful if it did not have these controversial choices in the game. So it depends on, how much this affects you as the player. Is this choice, air quotes, is this choice being in the game affecting you to the point where it just makes you say, I'm out? Or is it, you would handle it like many others, when you come across the quest in question, are you just going to pick your straight option and just continue on with the game? I guess it depends on you, the player. For me, naturally, I would just pick the straight option. But it's, it is a point of contention, and it does have the gaming community as it relates to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It does have a bit of a divide. So it depends on where you are, where you sit, if this affects you or not. Personally, I don't really have a horse in this race, so to speak, because while I do own the first game, I haven't played it yet because I bought the first game maybe about a month ago on sale. So I haven't played it because, you know, between running my channel and other stuff, I just haven't had the time to sit down with it. I don't know if I'm gonna buy the second game or not. Maybe I will for content purposes. Most people I have seen online and in live streams, they seem to like what they have. And many people have argued and said that the game, you know, if you want to complete the game, it has a lot of, a lot of play time. You know, it's about 100+ hour game, and allegedly this is the only same-sex situation in the game, to my understanding. So it kind of be like you turning down a Lamborghini because it has a small scratch on the car. You know, if that small scratch is enough for you to not buy it, you know, that's on you. Again, personally, I'm not a fan of these type of decisions in gaming. You know, I've definitely let that be known in prior content, but regardless, the controversy has not really affected the game's sales or concurrent users, hardly. So the game is a success, and I'd like to know your thoughts on the game. Are you playing it? Are you feeling it? So that's my little bit of a rant here. Hopefully, if you survived my rant, let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll be back with more content. Peace.